Francis Vendetti, the protagonist of our artful adventure, sits on a bench atop an overhanging plateau, staring off from pole to pole along a dream landscape of jutting mountain peaks and verdant trees and ascendant towers, and he cannot for the life of him strum a truthful chord. He is locked in shade, whether the sun dapples his skin or not, the shade of his uncle, Johnson Vendetti, a Bob Dylan-esque bass-tone lyricist whose acoustic refrains tether this sky-high town to ground, and furthermore tether this young man, Francis, to a past that's no longer relevant to now, and to a music that's not his to perform anymore. His pain is that of any youth whose creative depths are hidden by the foundational prestige of a family member, wherein everyone all around insists upon a repeat of an elder's legacy and the genetic link of the younger.
You look like him, you know. Your uncle.
I know, Goldie. I really do.
And yet genes aren't enough to tie passion to action, and especially not enough to comfort the mysteries of self in all our doings. He strives to sing about the daily difficult lives of miners in dank caverns below. But what is there to compare between his exuberant sunshine life and that of someone sweating in the dark? He strives to sing closer to home, about the green vistas that surround him, and its beauty fails to match the inner turmoil that curves his tendons into strumming. He is dishonest to himself, a phony lyricist play-acting folk symbol of truth. Can we blame him? Just be yourself. A famously overused statement, inherently unsatisfying. Who are we but habits of action? And if we are now tumbling down our own self-made ravine of tendency, who are we now to know what movements are to blame on being ourselves or on faking ourselves for others? Whose fault is that initial tumble? How could Francis know?
What do you call yourself?
Out here? I'm not sure. I'm dabbling with the idea of becoming someone else entirely.
Like all great heroes on the cusp of an inward journey involving outward maneuvering, Francis meets a call-to-adventure figure in the form of a stranger donning purple shoes, jacket, and shades, with an eagle-sifting eye set to sever Francis from the superficial echo of his uncle, found so apparently in his ruffled hair, skin-tight jeans, and wool bomber jacket.
Your look doesn't match your sound.
Excuse me?
You dress like a drifter, but you sound like a space opera. Complete tonal disconnect.
He plays the folk hero. He is far more comfortably a space oddity. She sees right through him.
Yeah, I am the ethereal. I'm trying to get back to the cosmic lung.
Ah, that's so. You got the makings of a story in you. I can smell it.
As a result of her spurring, we players glide along the waves of our protagonist's odd fantasies. He believes himself starbound, both to the stars of strange planets and to the fame of rock stardom. This is a cosmic journey, but seemingly an unreal stroke of meditative dream self-discovery that we happen to witness through our own rhythmic button presses in time with intergalactic species whose faces glow in tune with chords and buttons on our controllers. There is little gameplay here, little room for meandering discovery of our own. This is as much strokes along a canvas of psychedelic mind as anything else, a linear route from left to right, from plain old townfolk melodies to gaudy riffs and brisk tempoed solos to self-discovery through anthemic rock arena performance. There is seeming irony in that through syntax of rhythm and high notes, we play a protagonist seeking identity through performance. An act itself intended to abandon the performance of prior years as the nephew of a former folk music icon. It seems ironic because we assume identity is not always a performance. We must play act our motivations, even if honest, into enough coherence for the world to see and care, and for our reflection of self to match our inner image. If I were to say, I'm not a folk artist, but a metalhead, I may state it as a fact of my inner self, but the reference remains to a concept that existed prior to my first awareness of it. I saw something in the world that felt more true to me, but in being that thing through action, I am now acting again, performing, attempting to breathe what brings me comfort. Francis Vendetti has more experience with his faux folk self, acoustic pluckings and all, than with starlight glittering sequins and prickly hair. Yet he finds comfort in the new performance over the old, in playing a superstar blasting back to a quiet town to surprise his friends and elders with the newness of the throwback getup he now wears so vividly.
And I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, you'll remember this night for the rest of your lives!
How could we blame him? All he needs to hear is doubt, to discover that he can be more than he has been.
You don't seem yourself.
Don't seem myself?
The magisterially purple woman prompts doubt over who he's presenting himself to be, and the truth sings through him louder than the notes he plucks flatly on a mountainside. We, the players, get to sing along with him for a while, able to determine the moments he flourishes quiet with roaring melodies. Every point at which we force his fingers to pick at notes in this adventure is superfluous, and yet these moments are a performance worth playing, a tugging at the creative impulse to flow and overwhelm and to be flooded by that same creative impulse, and the fact that the game can capture such a feeling is worth enough to jam with it for a little while at least.